Hello there. Well, it's a late June afternoon, and I'm going down to the river to fish with the Tenkara rod. And I'm going to a part of the river which is very wild and it's not fished very often, and you'll soon see why. Now we go over these lovely marshy grasses. I think it will be very, very wet underfoot here during the winter. We haven't had a lot of rain, so the river is quite still. Now you'll see it's a very wild part of the river. There are lots of fallen trees lying in the river, and the pool's not always easy to get to, and the Tenkara is an ideal form of fishing. I'm going to be watched by this little squirrel here that doesn't seem to be very frightened of me at all. They do get a bit cheeky sometimes, these grey squirrels. Now in this pool here, which is not easy to get into, I'm going to use what they call the bow and arrow cast. It's really a matter of holding the line about 6 inches from the fly and bending the rod and flicking it out, and it's quite effective, especially in these very awkward places. Now here's another one where the branches of the trees are quite low over the bank, and there's quite a good pool, so you want to be able to get into it, and I think the bow and arrow cast is ideal for that. You don't use it all the time, but when you have a situation like this, it's ideal to use. I think if I caught a fish, mind you, it might be a little bit awkward handling it underneath there, but I could always put any pressure on sideways, but certainly not above. Now you can do this sort of cast sideways if you want. You have to be a bit careful not to catch yourself on the hook, but it hasn't happened to me yet. Now something happened this afternoon which I think you might find quite interesting. I did notice some movements under a big fallen log in a pool, and I thought they might be duck or something like that, so I was creeping up very carefully, but you will see I had a bit of a surprise. You can see how wild the river is here, and I think its wilderness quality helps creatures to exist that wouldn't live anywhere else. Now there's some movement under this log. I didn't know quite what it was. I realized it wasn't a duck. If it was diving. So I approached very, very carefully, and you're going to get a little glimpse of an otter. It's only a few seconds, so you have to keep your eyes open. It's just to the, there it is, and it just swirls away. A couple of seconds, but it's very clearly an otter, and it's a sight that I haven't seen for quite a few years. I knew the otters were on this river, but not as far up as this. Anyway, I sat there by the pool for a little bit longer, and then a trout rose, and I was tempted to cast a fly to it, and I caught it, and it was quite a nice little wild brown trout. Unfortunately, I got it snagged up under a branch, so I had to climb down the bank. And there it is. It's a really nice brown trout, about 9 inches long, and he'll go back as quickly as I can put him. There he is, a still photograph of it. It's a lovely looking wild trout. Anyway, I am off home now, and I hope you enjoyed the short video, and it was a very satisfying afternoon's fishing for me. If you found it interesting, please click a like and maybe subscribe. Goodbye.